David Purdum, ESPN sports betting industry reporter, has been all over this story. David, thanks for joining us. Where do you want to start with this?
I think the most damning thing is the accusation that he limited his own playing time to impact the bets that were placed at the information he gave. He didn't play in the 13 NBA games that he bet on, even though one did include a parlay that included a leg betting against the Raptors, but he didn't play in that game. I think to go in a game and allegedly take yourself out in order to make sure wagers are winners, that's the most damning thing to me.
When did you find out about this?
Yesterday. We had been reporting on it, but when the NBA sent out its release, that's when I first became alert of it.
Okay, how does this give me the behind the scenes process of who's alerted first, or how do the casinos or the sports betting people they see the red flags here, and that's how it kind of gets to the NBA commissioner's desk?
Yeah, 100%. The sports books are the ones that see the information, right? They're the ones that see the bets. So they start to see all this rush of bets on a pretty low profile guy, John Porter. Many people I probably haven't heard of him if they're not. All of a sudden, they're getting $80,000 parlay bets on him, featuring all his unders on his points, rebounds, assists. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
So they contact what we call the integrity providers, a company called U.S. Integrity. A Las Vegas firm. They kind of act as a hub, right? Sportsbook calls them and said, "Hey, we saw something kind of strange." U.S. Integrity then calls all their sportsbook clients. Did you guys see anything? Once they gather all the information, they give it to the sports leagues and they give it into the state regulators, gaming regulators as well.
Is it foolproof as far as trying to get away with this? That they're going to eventually they'll catch you. That there'll be, and I'm sure John Porter didn't think anybody would notice that John Porter was placing bets on himself, not realizing that the fact that there's bets on John Porter raises the red flag. But is it foolproof for these leagues to go? We'll notice this. We'll find you.
Well, if it's as brazen as this was, yes. I mean, this was pretty. Frankly, it'd be flippant dumb. To think that they're not going to notice a guy that maybe attracts $8 on a game all season, and then all of a sudden he's getting hundreds of thousands of dollars bet is going to stand out. Now, are there more sophisticated attempts? You would have to think so. So it's certainly not foolproof. Anybody that it's very easy to hand somebody or tell somebody, an associate, hey, place this bet for me, do this, do that. It's going to be very hard and difficult to detect that. But we can add the deterrence, and the ban that was put on Porter hopefully will act as that for other players.
Yeah, I wondered, the NBA is setting a precedent here that this is not even for consideration, according to my source. So you don't leave open the window if it's a young star goofing around, placing some bets, and then you're going to suspend him for, give him a lifetime ban.
Yeah, I thought about that too. It had to be a very thorough, thoughtful decision from Commissioner Silver, because if this were to be an up and coming star that would have attracted this, gosh, he would have a big decision to make if he was going to end his career.
I just wonder, and I said this before when this came out, that you're looking for somebody who can be compromised. I didn't think a player could put himself in this position and actually betting against his team and betting on his performance. But if you have an official, like somebody who can be compromised, who can still affect the outcome of the game, where do you think that if there is a potential big gambling issue, where's it going to come from?
I would pay attention to stat keepers. When we have wagers on every statistic involved, how many assists, rebounds, a lot of times those can be judgment calls. Was that a controlled tap to a player? Should we credit that player with a rebound? I think those people, they do not have the large salaries that most of the players and coaches and such have. So I would be careful in there. Obviously, referees get a lot of scrutiny as well. Like you, I never thought a player would risk his entire career to try to pull something off like this. It's just dumbfounding to me.
Great to talk to you again, David. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dan.
That's David Purdum. He covers sports betting for the Mothership.